I was halfway through my shift at the warehouse when she dropped it on me. Not through a phone call, not even a text. She waited until I got home, until I'd kicked off my work boots and cracked open a can of soda to tell me she needed space. I booked a retreat in Napa Valley, she said, not looking up from her phone. Solo, I need time to think about us. I stopped mid-sip. We'd been married 6 years. Sure, things had gotten routine, maybe a bit stale, but I didn't think we were at the I need to flee to wine country stage. Napa, that's not exactly cheap. I used the joint account. It's my money too. She finally looked at me, and there was something in her eyes I couldn't quite place. Defensiveness, maybe, or excitement poorly disguised as distress. When are you leaving? Tomorrow morning. I'll be gone about 5 days. 5 days. In Napa Valley. Alone. To think about our marriage. All right, I said, setting down my drink. Take all the space you need. She blinked, clearly expecting more resistance. You're not going to argue? What's there to argue about? You've obviously made up your mind. The rest of the evening was strange. She disappeared into the bedroom, and I could hear her going through drawers, the zipper of her suitcase opening and closing multiple times. I ordered pizza and ate it watching the game, but I wasn't paying attention to the score. Around 9, she came out with her suitcase. She'd changed into one of her nicer outfits, the kind she usually saved for dinners out. Her makeup was fresh. For someone supposedly stressed about our marriage, she looked pretty excited. I'll text you when I get there, she said at the door. Sure. Drive safe. She hesitated, like she wanted to say something else, then just nodded and left. I sat there in the quiet apartment for a while after she'd gone. The TV was still on, but I'd muted it. Something felt off. You don't get that dressed up for a solo retreat where you're supposedly soul-searching about your failing marriage. You don't practically skip to your car with that kind of energy. I pulled out my phone and opened our shared banking app. There it was, posted 2 days ago. A charge to some vineyard resort for $850. The description said romantic couples package. Couples package. I leaned back into the couch and stared at the ceiling. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe she'd accidentally clicked the wrong booking option. But something in my gut told me this was going to get interesting. I didn't sleep much that night. Kept thinking about the new perfume I'd smelled when she walked past me. The way she'd been on her phone constantly for the past few weeks, always angling it away when I came near. The sudden girls' nights that seemed to pop up every other week. By morning, I'd made a decision. I wasn't going to panic. I wasn't going to call her 100 times or drive up there like some jealous husband. I was going to wait and see what developed. Whatever she was up to, she'd made one crucial mistake. She thought I'd just accept her story and wait around like an idiot while she had her little adventure. She had no idea I was already 3 steps ahead. The call came on Thursday afternoon, 2 days after she'd left. I was on my lunch break, eating a sandwich in my truck when my phone buzzed with her sister's name. Hey, what's up? Quick question, Diane said. She sounded cheerful, unsuspecting. What vineyard are you guys staying at? Mom wants to send you a bottle of wine as a surprise. She thinks it's sweet you two are doing a couple's retreat. I stopped chewing. Sorry, what? The romantic getaway? In Napa? She told us all about it at dinner last week. Said you both needed to reconnect. My sandwich suddenly tasted like cardboard. Diane, I'm at work. In town. I never went to Napa. Silence on the other end. Then, wait, what? She said you guys were going together. She showed us pictures of the resort and everything. What's the name of the place? I could hear her moving around, probably pulling up her phone. Silverbrook Vineyard Estate. She said it was this beautiful property with private cottages and wine tastings and, oh no. Yeah, oh no is right. I'm so sorry, I had no idea. She seemed so happy about it. She said you'd finally agreed to work on things. Can you text me the name of that resort? Of course. Listen, I'm genuinely shocked. This isn't like her. I wanted to laugh at that. Apparently, we didn't know her as well as we thought. After we hung up, I sat in my truck for another 10 minutes. Part of me wanted to call her immediately and scream. But that's not how you handle this. That's how you give someone time to make up lies and cover tracks. I had a better idea. Back at the house that evening, I opened my laptop. She'd always been careless with passwords. Used the same one for everything, including our shared email account that we'd set up years ago for bills and joint purchases. She probably forgot I even had access to it. It took me about 3 minutes to find what I was looking for. Reservation confirmation for Silverbrook Vineyard Estate. Romantic couples package. 5 nights. 2 guests. Guessed 1. Her name. Guessed 2. Lucas Brennan. I sat back and stared at the screen. Lucas. Her ex-boyfriend from college. The one she dated for 3 years before we met. The one whose name still occasionally came up in her stories about the good old days. The one whose friend request she'd accepted on social media about 6 months ago. I opened a new tab and pulled up our bank statements. There it was, the $850 charge, split from our joint account. She'd used our money to fund a romantic trip with another man. My phone buzzed. A text from her, having an amazing time. The views here are incredible. Really helps clear your head. I'm sure the views were incredible. I wondered if Lucas was part of the scenery. I didn't respond. Instead, I took screenshots of everything. The reservation confirmation. The bank statements. Then I went deeper into the email account. What I found was worse than I thought. Months of messages, carefully deleted from her phone, but still sitting in the email trash folder she never thought to check. Planning. Reminiscing. I never stopped thinking about you. We should have never broken up. Just one weekend, no one has to know. She hadn't just run into him online. This was calculated, deliberate. She'd been setting this up for months, and I'd been too busy working overtime and trying to keep our bills paid to notice. My phone buzzed again. Her sister. Did you confront her yet? I typed back. Not yet. Collecting evidence first. Evidence for what? Divorce lawyer. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, if you need anything, let me know. I can't believe she'd do this. I appreciated that. At least someone in her family had some sense. I forwarded all the screenshots to my personal email, then made copies on a flash drive. Tomorrow I'd start making calls. But tonight, I had one more thing to do. I pulled up the contact information for Silverbrook Vineyard Estate and called their front desk. Good evening, Silverbrook Vineyard Estate. How may I help you? Hi, my name is Lucas Brennan. I'm currently staying at your property with my companion. I'm having trouble with the Wi-Fi in our cottage and was wondering if someone could help. Of course, sir. Let me pull up your reservation. Cottage 7, correct? That's the one. I'll send someone over within the hour. Is there anything else we can help you with? No, that's all. Thank you. I hung up and smiled. Cottage 7. Now I knew exactly where they were. I wasn't going to drive up there and cause a scene. That's what she'd expect. That's what would make me look like the bad guy. No, I had something better in mind. I opened my contacts and scrolled to Calvin, a friend from high school who'd moved to Santa Rosa last year, about 30 minutes from Napa. Hey man, random question. You busy this weekend? Calvin didn't ask too many questions, which is why I called him. You need eyes on someone in Napa? Something like that. I'll pay for your gas and dinner. Just need a few photos. Text me the details. Friday morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 8 months. My supervisor didn't give me any trouble about it. I'd earned the day off. I spent the morning going through everything methodically. Bank statements printed and highlighted. Every charge she'd made in the past 3 months that seemed suspicious. Dinner at Angelo's on a Tuesday night when she said she was at her friend Hannah's place. That restaurant was across town, nowhere near Hannah's house. New clothes purchased from boutiques I'd never heard of. $120 at some lingerie shop. She definitely hadn't worn any of that for me. The emails were the worst part. Reading them felt like swallowing glass, but I forced myself through every single one. They'd reconnected in March. Started innocent enough, just catching up. By April, it had shifted. I think about what we had all the time. You understood me in ways no one else did. By May, they were planning this trip. One message from Lucas made my blood pressure spike. 5 days away from everything. Just like old times. Your husband won't suspect anything if you frame it right. Frame it right. Like I was some obstacle to work around, not a person whose life she was destroying. My phone buzzed around 2 in the afternoon. Calvin, got what you need. Sending now. 3 photos came through. The first showed them at an outdoor restaurant, wine glasses raised, laughing, her hand on his across the table. The second was them walking through the vineyard, his arm around her waist. The third was the kicker, them kissing outside Cottage 7. I saved all 3 and added them to my evidence folder. Then I did something I'd been putting off. I called a lawyer. Stuart Walsh's office was in a strip mall between a dry cleaner and a tax place. Not fancy, but he'd handled my buddy Trevor's divorce 2 years ago and did a solid job. I need a consultation. Today, if possible. His secretary put me through. I've got a cancellation at 4. Can you make it? I'll be there. I spent the next hour organizing everything into a single folder, printed emails, bank statements, photos, the reservation confirmation. By the time I walked into Walsh's office, I had a case that could have convicted someone in criminal court. Walsh was in his 50s, gray hair, reading glasses perched on his nose. He looked like someone's uncle. He gestured to the chair across from his desk. "Tell me what's going on." I laid it out in under 5 minutes. No emotion, just facts. When I finished, I slid the folder across his desk. He spent 20 minutes going through everything, occasionally making notes. Finally, he looked up. "This is about as clear-cut as it gets. How do you want to proceed?" "Fast. And I want to make sure she doesn't get a dime she's not entitled to. California is a no-fault state, so adultery won't affect the asset division directly. But given that she used marital funds for this affair, we can make arguments about dissipation of assets. How long have you been married?" 6 years. "Any kids?" "No." "Property?" "We rent. Lease is in my name. Cars are separate. We've got about $12,000 in a joint savings account." He made more notes. "This is actually pretty straightforward then. I can have papers drawn up by Monday. You'll need to decide how you want to serve her." "What are my options?" "Process server, certified mail, or you can hand them to her yourself if you're feeling bold." "I thought about that. Let's go with a process server. I want this done properly." "Smart. Now, let's talk about your goals here." We spent another 30 minutes going over strategy. Walsh was thorough, walking me through every step. By the time I left his office, I had a plan and a timeline. My phone had 7 missed calls from her, 3 voicemails. I listened to the first one on the drive home. "Hey, just checking in. Haven't heard from you. Everything okay?" The second, "You're probably just busy with work. Call me when you get a chance." The third, "Seriously, you're starting to worry me. Can you just text me back?" I deleted all 3 and didn't call back. Saturday morning, another text from her. "I'm extending my trip by 2 days. This place is exactly what I needed. I'll be home Wednesday instead of Monday. 2 extra days with Lucas." Of course. I replied, "Sounds good. Take your time." Her response came immediately. "Really? You're not upset?" "Why would I be upset? You're working on yourself. That's important. Thank you for understanding. This means a lot." I put the phone down and laughed. She thought she was getting away with it. Thought I was just the supportive husband waiting at home while she played house with her ex. Sunday afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Is this the husband?" A woman's voice, sharp and angry. "Who's asking?" "I'm asking if you're married to the woman currently sleeping with my husband at Silverbrook Vineyard." "Well, this day just got interesting. Lucas Brennan is your husband?" "For now. Found out yesterday when I checked our credit card statement. Cottage 7, right?" "That's the one." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. These 2 idiots really thought they'd get away with this. "I'm driving up there tomorrow morning. Thought you'd want to know. I appreciate the heads up, but I'm handling this differently. Your choice. But if you change your mind and want to crash their little fantasy, I'll be at that cottage around 10 Monday morning." "I'll keep that in mind." After she hung up, I sat there thinking. Part of me wanted to drive up there and watch the whole thing explode. But that would be emotional. Reactive. That's not how you win. I had a better plan. By Wednesday, when she walked back through that door expecting everything to be normal, she was going to find out just how badly she'd miscalculated. The divorce papers would be ready Tuesday. I'd have them served Wednesday morning, right after she got home. Let her enjoy her last few days in paradise. It was going to make the fall that much harder. Monday morning, I was up at 6. Made coffee, ate breakfast, went through my plan one more time. Everything had to happen in the right order. First call was to the bank. I need to remove someone from my joint account and open a new individual account. The representative walked me through the process. Within an hour, I had a new account with half the joint savings transferred in. The other half stayed in the joint account, which was technically still hers to access. Fair is fair. Second call was to the credit card company. I need to report my card as lost and request a replacement with a new number. Certainly, sir. We'll cancel the current card immediately and expedite a new one to you. She'd find out soon enough when her card got declined, but by then it wouldn't matter. Third step was the one I'd been thinking about all weekend. I opened my email and started a new message. The recipient list included her parents, her sister Diane, her brother, and about 15 of our mutual friends. No dramatic subject line. Just important information regarding my marriage. The body was simple and factual. No insults, no emotional outbursts. Just a timeline of events, attached screenshots of the reservation confirmation showing Lucas's name, the bank charges, and one of the photos Calvin had sent me. I ended with, I wanted you all to hear this from me directly before rumors start. I've filed for divorce and will be moving forward with my life. I appreciate your understanding during this time. I read it 3 times before hitting send. Once it was gone, there was no taking it back. My phone started ringing almost immediately. I sent everyone to voicemail except Diane. "Oh my God," she said when I answered. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea it was this bad." Neither did I until Thursday. My parents are furious. Mom is crying. Dad wants to drive up there right now. Tell them not to. Let her come home and face this herself. What do you need from us? Just don't let her spin this into something it's not. I've got all the evidence documented. She won't be able to spin anything. Not after what you sent. I'm so angry I could scream. We talked for a few more minutes before she had to go deal with her parents. I spent the rest of the morning watching my phone blow up with messages. Most were supportive. A few mutual friends tried to stay neutral. 2 people deleted from their lives immediately by their own choice when they suggested I should hear her side. There's no side to hear when someone books a romantic getaway with their ex using your shared money. Around noon, my phone rang with her number. I let it go to voicemail. She called again and again. By the 5th call, I answered. "What's going on?" She sounded frantic. "My credit card isn't working and everyone's blowing up my phone." My mom called me crying. "What did you do?" "I told everyone the truth about your trip." Silence. Then, "What are you talking about?" "Cottage 7 at Silverbrook Vineyard. You and Lucas. The romantic couples package you booked with our money." Should I continue? "How did you?" "That's not what this is. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. I've got the emails, the bank statements, the photos. Your own sister accidentally told me about the couple's retreat. Did you really think nobody would notice Lucas's name on the reservation? We're just friends. We were catching up. Friends don't book romantic cottages together. Friends don't spend months planning secret trips. Friends don't write emails about how they never should have broken up. Want me to read some back to you?" She started crying. The sound that used to make me want to fix everything. Now it just made me tired. "Please, can we just talk about this when I get home? Face to face." "There's nothing to talk about. Divorce papers will be ready tomorrow. You'll be served Wednesday morning." "You're not serious." "Extremely serious. I've already opened a new bank account and transferred my half of the savings. Change the credit cards. I'd suggest you figure out how you're getting home, because you're not using any cards connected to me. You can't do this." "Already did. Have a safe drive home." I hung up and immediately blocked her number. My phone rang again 30 seconds later. "Lucas." I answered this one. "Look, man, I know this looks bad, but let me stop you right there. Your wife called me Sunday. She's planning to visit you this morning. Good luck with that." "Wait, what? Checked your credit card statement yet?" "I'm guessing not. Might want to do that before she shows up at your cottage." I hung up on him too. The beauty of it was I didn't have to do anything else. Lucas's wife was already on her way up there. My soon-to-be ex-wife's credit cards weren't working, and everyone who mattered knew the truth. All I had to do was wait. Tuesday afternoon, Walsh called. "Papers are ready. Process server can deliver them Wednesday morning." "What time does she usually get home?" She said Wednesday, but I don't know exactly when. "Can we have someone waiting?" "We'll have them there at 8 a.m. If she's not home, they'll wait. She has to be served in person." Perfect. That evening, I started packing up her belongings. Not out of anger, just efficiency. Clothes in boxes, toiletries in bags, personal items wrapped and stored. I wasn't going to live in a space filled with her stuff. The lease was mine, the furniture was mostly mine, and I wanted a clean break. By midnight, I had everything of hers stacked neatly in the 2nd bedroom. She could collect it all when she figured out where she was staying. That wasn't my problem anymore. Wednesday morning came. I was drinking coffee when headlights pulled into the parking lot at 7:30. She was early. I watched from the window as she got out of her car, looking exhausted and disheveled. Nothing like the excited woman who'd left a week ago. She tried her key in the lock. It didn't work. Tried again. Nothing. Her face when she realized I'd changed the locks was almost worth all of this. She knocked, then pounded. "I know you're in there. Open this door." I opened it, but stood in the doorway, blocking entry. "Can I help you?" "What is this?" "You changed the locks. Property's in my name. You don't live here anymore. You can't just kick me out." "I'm not kicking you out. You left." I'm just making that permanent. A car pulled up behind hers. Professional-looking guy in a suit got out carrying a manila envelope. Are you Mrs. Sullivan? He asked, approaching her. She looked between us, realization dawning. No, I'm not accepting anything. You've been served. He handed her the envelope and walked back to his car. She stood there holding the divorce papers, looking like someone had slapped her. You're serious about this? Completely. Your things are packed. You can coordinate pickup through your sister. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my concern. Maybe Lucas has room for you. Oh wait, his wife probably kicked him out too. This is cruel. What's cruel is planning a romantic vacation with your ex-boyfriend while your husband is working overtime to pay the bills. What's cruel is lying for months. This is just consequences. I closed the door and locked it. She stood outside for another 5 minutes, calling my name, but I'd already put my headphones in. Eventually, I heard her car start and drive away. I looked out the window and watched her taillights disappear. It was Wednesday morning, and my marriage was officially over. Strange how something that took 6 years to build could end in less than a week. But I wasn't sad. I was free. The next few days were surprisingly quiet. She tried calling from different numbers, but I recognized the area codes and let them all go to voicemail. Diane kept me updated on the family situation without me having to ask. Mom and Dad told her she can't stay with them, Diane said during one of our calls. Dad's exact words were, "You made your bed, now lie in it." I've never seen him this disappointed. Where's she staying? Some extended stay motel off the highway. She burned through what was left in the joint account paying for it. Asked me for money yesterday, and I told her no. How's she taking it? Not well. Keeps insisting this is all a misunderstanding. That you overreacted. That Lucas was just helping her through a difficult time in our marriage. I laughed at that. Helping her through a difficult time by booking a romantic cottage? That's a creative excuse. Nobody's buying it. Even her friends are keeping their distance. Hannah called me yesterday, asking if the emails you sent were authentic. When I said yes, she stopped answering my sister's calls. What about Lucas? His wife kicked him out the same day you served the papers. She's filing too. Apparently, she showed up at that cottage Monday morning and found them having breakfast together. Made a scene in front of the whole resort. Part of me wished I'd seen that, but only a small part. I'd accomplished what I needed to without being there. Friday afternoon, Walsh called with an update. She's not contesting the divorce. Her lawyer advised her not to, given the evidence. We should have this finalized within 60 days, maybe sooner. What about the asset division? She's agreed to split the remaining joint account balance and walk away. No spousal support, no claims on your personal property. Honestly, her lawyer probably told her she'd lose if she tried to fight. Good. Let's move forward. That weekend, I did something I hadn't done in months. I went out with friends. Nothing crazy, just dinner and drinks at a sports bar downtown. Trevor was there, along with some guys from my old softball league. You seem good, Trevor said, nursing his beer. Considering everything, I am good. Better than I've been in a while, actually. Most guys would be a mess right now. Most guys probably saw it coming and ignored the signs. I just refused to be that guy. My phone buzzed during dinner. A text from an unknown number. Can we please talk? Just give me 5 minutes to explain. I showed it to Trevor. He shook his head. Don't do it, man. I deleted the text without responding. Monday morning, I was back at work like nothing had happened. A few coworkers who'd heard through the grapevine offered condolences or asked if I was okay. I appreciated the concern, but didn't need it. I'm fine. Just dealing with some personal stuff. Should be resolved soon. My supervisor pulled me aside during lunch. If you need time off, take it. We can cover your shifts. I'm good. Work actually helps keep my mind occupied. All right, but the offer stands. Tuesday evening, Diane called again. She came by the house today. Wanted to talk to Mom. How'd that go? Mom wouldn't let her in. Told her through the door that she was ashamed and needed time before she could even look at her. My sister left crying. I'm sorry you're all dealing with this. Don't apologize. She did this, not you. Actually, that's part of why I'm calling. Some of her friends are trying to paint you as the villain. Saying you moved too fast didn't give her a chance to explain. Let them think what they want. I've got documentation of everything. Anyone who matters knows the truth. That's what I told them. I just wanted you to know what people are saying. Appreciate it. Wednesday marked 2 weeks since she'd left for Napa. 2 weeks since my life had turned upside down. Except it didn't feel upside down anymore. It felt like I'd finally corrected something that had been tilted the wrong way for months. I spent the evening doing something I'd been putting off, going through old photos. Not the physical ones, the digital ones on my phone and computer. There were hundreds of us together over the years. Smiling, laughing, looking happy. Had we been happy? Or had I just convinced myself we were? Looking at them now, I could see things I'd missed before. How she was always on her phone in the background of group photos. How her smile didn't quite reach her eyes in the more recent ones. How there was a distance between us even when we were standing right next to each other. I deleted them all. Not out of anger, but necessity. You can't move forward if you're constantly looking back. Thursday afternoon, I got a call from Walsh. We've got a court date. 3 weeks from today. Should be simple, in and out. She's not fighting anything. Perfect. One more thing. Her lawyer asked if you'd be willing to meet with her before the court date. Said she wants closure. Closure for what? She had closure when she booked that trip with Lucas. That's what I told them. Just wanted to pass along the message. After we hung up, I thought about it for maybe 30 seconds. Then moved on with my day. Friday evening, I was leaving work when I saw her car in the parking lot. She was leaning against it, waiting. I considered just walking past her to my truck, but something made me stop. You blocked my number, she said. No greeting, just accusation. What do you want? I want to explain. I've heard your explanations. Through Diane, through voicemails, through your lawyer. They all amount to the same thing. Excuses. It wasn't what it looked like. It was exactly what it looked like. You and your ex-boyfriend, romantic cottage, 5 nights. Pretty straightforward. We didn't sleep together. I actually laughed at that. You expect me to believe you booked a couple's package, spent 5 nights in a cottage together, and nothing happened? Even if that's true, which I doubt, the intent was there. The betrayal happened the moment you started planning it. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices over several months. Each email, each deleted message, each lie about where you were going. Those weren't mistakes. They were decisions. She started crying again. This time, I felt nothing. No sympathy, no urge to comfort her. Just a vague sense of irritation that she was wasting my time. I never meant to hurt you. Yet here we are. Look, I've got nothing else to say to you. Court date is in 3 weeks. Show up, sign the papers, and we can both move on. Is there any chance? No. Whatever you're about to ask, the answer is no. I walked past her to my truck. She called after me, but I didn't turn around. Started the engine, backed out, and drove away without looking back. That was the last time I saw her before the court date. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Just a judge, a clerk, our lawyers, and us. She looked thinner, tired, dark circles under her eyes. I felt nothing looking at her. The judge reviewed our settlement agreement. This appears straightforward. No children, no shared property, assets divided equally. Is this correct? Yes, Your Honor. Both lawyers confirmed. Any objections from either party? We both said no. Then by the power vested in me by the state of California, I hereby grant this dissolution of marriage. You're both free to go. 3 minutes. 6 years of marriage ended in 3 minutes. Outside the courthouse, she tried one last time. Can we at least talk? Get coffee or something? There's nothing left to say. I just want you to know I'm sorry. For everything. I know you are. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry your family disowned you. You're sorry Lucas didn't leave his wife for you. But you're not actually sorry for what you did. Her face crumpled, but I was already walking away. 2 months later, I ran into her at Target. She was in the cleaning supplies aisle. Looked like she'd just gotten off work from somewhere. Our eyes met for a second. Excuse me, I said, moving past her to grab what I needed. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, but I was already heading to check out. That evening, Diane called. Mom saw her today. She's working 2 jobs now, living in a 1-bedroom apartment across town. Lucas apparently moved to Arizona. His wife took everything in their divorce. Good for his ex-wife. Mom asked if I thought you'd ever forgive her. Forgiveness and reconciliation are 2 different things. Maybe someday I'll forgive her, but we're never getting back together. That ship sailed the moment she booked Cottage 7. Fair enough. How are you doing? Honestly, better than ever. Got a promotion last month. Finally have the apartment set up the way I wanted. Going out more. I'm good. And I was. Not bitter, not angry. Just done. Sometimes people ask if I regret how I handled it. Moving so fast, cutting her off completely, exposing everything to her family. The answer is always no. She made her choices. I made mine. The difference is, I can live with mine. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, I was at the grocery store when I saw her again. This time, I didn't even slow down. Just kept walking like she was any other stranger. Because that's what she was now. Someone I used to know. Someone who taught me an important lesson about trust and self-respect. I never looked back. Not once. And I never needed to.